This podcast is brought to you by Enlightening Learners Academic Coaching and Tutoring Services. In this presentation, we're going to look at slope and be able to find the slope of a given line. Find the slope of a given line given the coordinates of 2 points on a line. Some questions to help you. Guided questions. What is slope? How is slope determined? How can slope be measured given a graph? How can slope be measured given only 2 points? What are the characteristics of an undefined line? And what are the characteristics of a line with zero slope? Slope is a measurement that measures the amount of slant in something. It's a comparison with rise over run. Essentially, we want to look at how steep this is, comparing it to the rise and the run. In this case, this rise is going up. It's a positive slope. In this one, the slope is negative. It's going down. Slope can be measured by counting the rise and the run. So whenever you're given a line, you simply pick 2 points on a graph, and it can be any 2 points. We want to calculate the rise. In this case, the rise is 3, and then we want to calculate the run. In this case, the run is 1, so it's 3 to 1. Rise 3, run 1. If we were to take this same point and extend it, but make the points bigger, we would go from this point up and do the same thing again. And we find that this rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the run is 2. And when you complete the fraction 6 over 2, you get 3 to 1 again. Now this slope is a little bit different. It's a little less steep. It's still a positive slope, and we can calculate the rise. It's a rise of 1 and a run of 2, and it's written as a fraction, 1 over 2. Sometimes we have slopes that have a zero slope. If you notice, this is a horizontal line. There is no rise, there's only a run. Well, whenever a rise is 0, and the run can be any number, the slope is 0. This is considered a negative line. Notice that reading it from left to right, it's running downhill. We want to calculate the rise once again and calculate the run. The rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the run is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a negative 8 because we fell down over 4, which can be reduced to negative 2 over 1. Sometimes a slope is called an undefined slope. Whenever you have a run of 0, as in this vertical line, there's only a rise, but there is no run. It simply falls. In this case, it falls 4, but the run is still 0. 4 over 0 is equal to an undefined slope. Remember that whenever you divide by 0, you get an error message on a calculator. That's because you can't divide by 0, so it's simply undefined. Now, oftentimes you may not be given a coordinate point. You may not be given a vertical line. You just may be given 2 points, as in this case here. We've got 2 points here. We can still calculate without having a graph. The equation is m is equal to y2 minus y1. That's my change in my rise over x2 minus x1. The trick is to figure out which one you want, which of these 2 points is your first point and which of your points is your second point. We're going to call this point 1. We're going to call this one point 2. The equation is m is equal to my second y, which in this case is 2, minus my first y, which is 5, divided by my second x, which is negative 4, minus my first x, which is 2. And when we calculate that, 2 minus 5 is a negative 3. Negative 4 minus negative 2 is a negative 6. A negative divided by negative is a positive. And if you notice, this line is actually a positive line. And it can be reduced to negative 3 over 2, which can be reduced to negative 1, positive 1 over 2. And that's my m. Here again is the equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You can also do y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Just make it consistent. Again, the trick is to figure out which of these 2 points is your first point and which of these points is your second coordinate point. Positive slope, it's running uphill. No slope, it has no rise. Negative slope, it's running downhill. And this is an undefined slope simply because there is no run, and in that case the run is 0. And any number divided by 0 equals an undefined.